Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca.
The Buddha asked Elder Subhutu if a cultivator who has attained Sotapanna level or entered the holy language think he entered the holy language. However, Elder Subhutu said there is no entering. There is no attaching to the sight, sound, smell, taste, tactile feeling, and even the Dharma. The Buddha then asked Elder Subhutu if a person who obtained Sakadagmin level and subject to one more rebirth, if this person stays within himself and he only returns one more time, then he doesn't really achieve the Sakadagmin level. Because this person doesn't have the compassion of a Bodhisattva. Why is that? Because he just wants to return only one more time and not after that. According to Elder Subhutu, that is not a right thing to do, because without returning, how can this person pay back his karma from the previous lives? The karma was created from the day he took refuge with Turkabaka to the day he obtained the Sakadagmin level. This person owns to his ancestors, his parents, his teachers, and sentient beings, and now he refuses not to pay them back. That means this person did not have the wisdom of a Sakadagmin. The Buddha asked Elder Subhutu if a cultivator who obtained Arhat level should claim that he obtained Arhat level or not. Elder Subhutu responded to the Buddha, that is not the case, because in Dharma there is really no such thing called an Arhat. If an Arhat thinks that he is an Arhat, then he still is attached on the form of sentient beings, form of giving and accepting, and form of being an Arhat. If Elder Subhutu announced that he is attached or attained to Arhat level, who was number one detaching on form, then he was not truly an Arhat. That was the reason Elder Subhutu, Elder Kasayapa, and all 1,250 other Arhat had never claimed to assessed Arhat level. Therefore, these cultivators were known as Arhat. In today's world, there are people who claimed that they assessed Arhatship. In Vietnam, there is a Dharma master who's claimed that he obtained Arhat level. You can find the real name based on the essence of the Diamond Sutra. In fact, Elder Subhutu had a great answer. In his opinion, there was no one who obtained the Arhat level. The Buddha called Arhat to indicate that person was free of greed, anger, lust, and free from the cycle of birth and death. There are two types of Arhat. One immediately entering nirvana without helping sentient beings, such as those who heard that the Buddha was about to pass away. They raced to enter nirvana. The Buddha called them as dead seeds. There are people who obtain Arhat level, but after listening to the Lotus Sutra, they recalled their Bodhisattva's vows. They realized that they had escaped from the cycle of birth and rebirth, or the house of fire. So they want to return and save other sentient beings. Those are the two types of arhat. Let me use a simple example for you to understand. Back then, some people wanted to escape Vietnam but couldn't afford to pay for the fee. So they asked the owners of the boat to let them go to America without paying gold tassels up front. The fee was 7 tassels, but they have no money, and they promised to pay them when they reached freedom. They would go to work and save up money to pay back the boat owners. There were some people who also promised the boat owners to pay the debt. Instead of keeping this promise, they enjoyed a great life, found beautiful wives, and had smart children. They obtained diplomatic degrees and had great jobs to buy nice houses. These are like Dead Sea arhats, people who escaped the hell of Vietnam to the US and got a great job to save up and sponsors their relatives to come to the US. That person is called the arhat, with the mind of a Bodhisattva. The Buddha said there was no one who obtained the Sotapanna level or entering the holy language because there was nothing to enter. Without sight, sound, smell, taste, and assets, that is truly entering the holy language. The second level of holy language, or Sakradagman, will not return only one more time. Once they become Buddha, they will return for unlimited life like Sakyamuni Buddha or earth-stored Bodhisattva to save sentient beings. The agnomen is non-returner, but the Buddha did not acknowledge the agnomen if they become arhat without helping other sentient beings. Ending the cycle of life and birth, but still need to return to repay the karma from previous life. If it is true that arhat ends the cycle of life and birth, however, in the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha said it was just temporary because a true arhat must have the Bodhisattva compassion. Elder Sakapa was listening to Dharma preaching from the Buddha and said all Dharma are non-real and no form. If there was no form, then there was no delusion. Without the precondition, then there is no good or bad karma. And give up the vows of saving sentient beings. Immediately, 5,000 disciples who became arhat after listening to Buddha's preaching refused to listen to the Lotus Sutra and left. The remaining arhat were the compassionate arhat, not the dead seed arhat. These are the ones who helped the Buddha Dharma language passing on until today. Whoever claimed that he obtained the Sotapanna is not based on the essence of the Diamond Sutra. In other sutras, the Sotapanna had entered the holy language, but in Diamond Sutra, there was no entering because there was no sight, sound, praise, laments, assets, fame, beauty, indulgence, and resting. That is truly obtaining Sotapanna and ending Samara after 7 lives. However, that is not right based on the essence of the Diamond Sutra. Non-returning must return unlimited time to save other sentient beings. Tathagata did not come from anywhere and did not go anywhere. obtaining supreme enlightenment in this world, cultivating in this world, and preaching to save other sentient beings are also from this world. Therefore, the Gātaka means limitless transformation of Sakmani Buddha. Aganaman is called the non-returner, but without returning, there won't be any predestined to become an arhat that benefits for the sentient beings. Therefore, the Buddha also disregarded Aganaman. The Buddha also said there is no arhat. It was just a temporary word called or asked called arhat. Elder Subhutu also said, if there was an arhat, then there was a cultivator and there was enlightenment. The arhat must not have the 4 forms in order to end the samara. If he still has any form, then he did not truly escape the cycle of life and birth. Once he understands the Dharma Sutra, please do not stop reciting the sutra, Buddha's name, and giving alms. I want to re-emphasize that giving alms will never stop the cycle of birth and death, but only creates more karma. Giving alms to create blessing to help us on the journey of birth and death. If reborn as a Buddhist monk, then you can easily be successful on the process of spreading Buddha's Dharma. But if reborn as a layman, your life will be prosperity because of the blessing. If reborn as an animal, you will be in a country that have animal rights and have more blessing than being a human in a dedicated country and no freedom. My last words in this preaching is giving alms and cultivating wisdom must be practiced together. I haven't seen anyone who had obtained enlightenment by giving alms. That person must listen to the Dharma Sutra to obtain enlightenment. I also haven't seen anyone who became an arhat but did not practice giving alms and still have enough blessing to support their own life on the journey of spreading Dharma lineage. I see clearly in the Buddhist scriptures. There was a Buddhist monk called Unlucky Monk. As he was born in a fishing village, the whole fishing village automatically became hungry because no one can catch any fish. The head of the fishing village did not know what disaster was sown, so he divided the fishing village into 2 groups of 100 families. The group that has his family would lack food. The leader then divided that group into 2 smaller groups. They kept doing that until his family is the only one that lacked food. Because of his bad luck, his family couldn't find any food. So after 12 months of burden, the mother left him in the market, and she ran away from him. She treated him like a bad burden because people told her if she kept him, his family would all be in serious poverty. As soon as she left him in the market, their bad luck was lifted and they had food again. Because of his bad luck, no one adopted him. He lived on the street since 12 months of age, and he always lacked food and clothes. One day, the Buddha let him join the Sangha. Even then, every time he went for medicines, the whole group would never receive enough food to be whole. If he went with great disciples, Varnamo Anang Elder Sibutu, Elder Sapatrua, and others received plentiful food except the unlucky monk. One day, the Buddha knew the unlucky monk would obtain arhat level in a week. With the divine eyes, the Buddha knew the unlucky monk required a full meal for the first time in his whole life ever since he was born in this world to obtain the arhat level. No one can be enlightened with an empty stomach. Elder Maglaputta volunteered to get alms for the unlucky monk. He told the unlucky monk that he passed away in 7 days, and in order to obtain arhat level, he needed to have a full meal to meditate and rid the delusional mind to retain the true mind. Elder Maglaputta told the monk to stay at the monastery and meditate while he went to beg for food. Instead of walking, he used his magical powers and flew to a wealthy village and begged from a wealthy merchant. Elder Maglaputta told the merchant about the unlucky monk. In previous lives, the unlucky monk did not give alms and did some immoral things. He had been repaying back his karma for many lives, and this is his last life before obtaining arhat level in 7 days. Whoever gave alms to this monk would receive a lot of blessing. The rich merchant offered a lot of delicious food in a bowl of Elder Maglaputta for the unlucky monk. If Elder Maglaputta walked back to the monastery instead of flying, everything would be fine. But he used his magic to fly, and flock of birds were attached to the essence of the food. Elder Maglaputta already ate his meal. The remaining food in his bowl was for the unlucky monk. The birds swooped up and they attacked the food. Because of his compassion, Elder Maglaputta could not stop these hungry birds from eating the bowl of food. He returned to the monastery and informed the Buddha that he would like to repent and apologize to the unlucky monk. He only had a bowl of water for the monk to drink, because the bowl of rice was attacked by the hungry birds. Because of compassion, Maglaputta couldn't stop to scoop those birds, and now the unlucky monk couldn't eat because it was past noon. The Buddha's rule for the monk was no eating after noon had passed. The next day, Elder Saraputra said he would use his merit to go receive alms for the unlucky monk. He would not use his magical powers to fly. He asked the unlucky monk to stay in his hut to repent and meditate. The monk could open the doors when he heard Elder Saraputra knock on the door. The unlucky monk listened to his instruction. He closed the door and meditated. As soon as Elder Saraputra came back with food and knocked on the door, the monk immediately opened the door. Because of hunger, he was trembling, and the door hit the bowl. The food spilled on the ground, and a hungry dog jumped over to eat the food. And the unlucky monk starved once again on the second day because of his bad karma in his previous life. Elder Sakrapaya also volunteered to get food for the unlucky monk. He said that he would use his blessing trying to get just a single bowl of rice for him. He would not accept any additional bowl, and he would not eat his portion to save for the unlucky monk, unlike other elders. Elder Sakrapaya specializes in practicing the vermilion. He fastens his meals and dedicated it for the unlucky monk, hoping that his blessing, the monk would finally have a meal so he could meditate, because the monk hadn't eaten for 2 days. Elder Sakrapaya also received alms from the poor family and rejected alms from the rich. One of the kings of God appeared as an old beggar and offered the heaven food to Elder Sakrapaya. The elder walked back to the monastery and gave the unlucky monk his meal. Because the food was from the heavens, only the arhat could see and eat the meals. Those great disciples who already obtained arhat could see the food, but not the unlucky monk. The unlucky monk heard the knocking on the door and carefully opened the door to accept the meal from Elder Sakrapaya, hoping he could finally have a full meal and start his meditation. With his ordinary eyes, the unlucky monk see the bowl had no food and asked Elder Sakrapaya why he gave him an empty bowl. Elder Sakrapaya responded that the bowl was full of great food offered by an old beggar. In the end, Buddha came over and said the food was offered by one of the great king of gods. This diva knew Elder Sakrapaya only offered alms from poor families, so he appeared as an old beggar. The unlucky monk had not obtained arhat yet, therefore could not see the food. Once again, the unlucky monk had to drink water to fill his stomach. The Buddha gathered at the Shangha and told them about the karma of the unlucky monk in his previous lives. During the time of Sakrapaya Buddha, the unlucky monk was the son of a wealthy merchant, and his father specializes in giving alms. The merchant usually offered alms to a Shangha of 20,000 monks. One day, the merchant went to the capital and asked his son to give alms to the Shangha for a week. To save money, the son offered spoiled and molded food for the Shangha. This monk accepted the offering and ate for a whole week without complaining. They also dedicated the merit to his son to become an arhat in the future. But because of the karma, offering spoiled and molded food, the unlucky monk had to be poor and hungry for the next 20,000 lives. It was his last life, so he predestined to meet the Buddha to end his suffering. The merit of 1,250 arhat in the Buddha's Sangha couldn't counteract the karma created with the 12,000 arhat in the past. Only the merit of a Buddha could help him get a full meal. The Buddha told his disciples not to worry because he would get great food and share with the unlucky monk. The Buddha sat down and dedicated his merit for the unlucky monk to enjoy half of the Buddha's meal. For the first time since he was born, the unlucky monk finally had a full meal. Once he was no longer suffering from hunger, he started meditating. The Buddha used the divine magical powers to teach the unlucky monk how to rid the delusional mind and retain the true mind. The monk meditated for 24 hours and entered samsara. He stayed in samsara for 3 days and ended his meditation after 7 days. The Buddha told the unlucky monk that he had paid all his karma from the previous life. Before the unlucky monk entered nirvana, the Buddha gathered at the Shangha and asked the unlucky monk to give Dharma Talk about his previous karma. The unlucky monk told the Shangha about his previous life being a son of a wealthy merchant during the time of Kayyasapa Buddha. Because selfishness, he used the rotten food to offer the Shangha of 20,000 monks and nuns. Because of that karma, he was reborn as a swine for many lives. I said this to remind many of you to use your spoiled food or other poor qualities, things to offer the true cultivators. If you won't be enlightened or reborn in the blissful land in this life, you will be reborn as a pig to pay for the karma of offering rotten foods. Not to mention people in the US wasting food by refusing to eat the leftovers, while people around the world are suffering from hunger because of drought, food, or pandemic. These people will be reborn as pigs to pay for the karma of wasting food. Not to mention people who waste their Tripataka assets or lay people. You should be careful not to create bad karma. The unlucky monk further told the reason he obtained arhat. Even though the 20,000 arhat consumed the rotten food, but they still prayed for him to obtain the same level like they were. After 20,000 life, being hungry, he finally met the Buddha, and finally he could have a full meal. His Dharma Talk has passed on for other Buddha disciples from the past, the present, and the future, not to make the same mistake. People who did not know anything about karma still have to pay for their own karma. People who suffered spoiled or poor quality food to their parents, true monks, holy monks, and even ordinary monks, but cultivated meticulously, they will be reborn as pigs to repay their karma for offering rotten food. Offering people bad food, you will receive bad food. Wasting food by eating one time and discarding the rest will be reborn as pigs, because the pig is an animal that eats spoiled, molded, and uncleansed food. I apologize for mentioning this in this Dharma Talk. I don't forbid people not to give alms, but encourage people to give alms and protect your blessing. In the story of the unlucky monk, it is a lesson for us to learn. Because of offering rotten food to the monk, he had to be hungry for 20,000 life. Only the blessing of the Buddha could save him from being hungry for the first time. He became an arhat because 20,000 monks dedicated their merits for him. After preaching, the unlucky monk entered nirvana. The preaching of the Dharma Sutra is about practicing, giving, and cultivating wisdom, and this must be done together. You can't stop giving alms, but must keep doing it to protect all the blessing that you already have. Stop wasting food and giving away the spoiled food and even food that is about to expire. For example, you have too much food in your refrigerator, and they are about to expire, so you give them to the temple. I am warning you, please take this seriously, because you will be reborn as a pig to pay for your karma. The Buddha doesn't make you reborn as a pig, and neither does the God. It was your evil mind that makes you be reborn as pigs or other animals. However, the blessing of giving alms, if you reborn as an animal, you still have enough blessings to protect you from harm. If you reborn as humans or monks, then the blessing will protect you from being suffering. If you reborn in this Buddhist realm, you will be in the realm that made of 7 precious gems and most beautiful. Sincerely yours, and please don't think that I lament giving alms, and I only praise on cultivating wisdom. If you practice giving alms without cultivating wisdom, the next life you will be rich, but not very smart. If you cultivate wisdom without giving alms, you will obtain arhat level, but you will still be hungry until the last moment. Sincerely yours, and I vow to transfer the merit of this Dharma talk to all healthcare providers, the white coat army of doctors and nurses, and people who live in the state that still are not open because of the pandemic. I also want to tell all the voters in California, we have over millions of votes, enough to recall a governor, but not the president. The Vietnamese voters can recall a Democratic governor who increases the tax and restrictions to make it harder for the Vietnamese community to work. California is the state that has the most Vietnamese with the U.S. citizenship. There is a program to recall the California governor. If you see this governor helping the Vietnamese community, nail salon, beauty salon, retailers, factories, then you should vote for him. However, if he restricts and make the Vietnamese community harder to live, there is a chance for the Vietnamese Americans to grow up. This is a chance for us to show the governors of both Democratic and Republican senators, representatives, and the president to see our strength. Please grow up by using your votes. We can elect them to be a governor. We can recall them. The water can help boat to float, but also can sink the boat. I support the recall program of the California governor. Please use your votes to support the recall organization. Show the Democrats the strengths of the Vietnamese by your votes. We are not weaker than the Jews, but because we don't pay attention to politics, so we now lack benefits. This is the time the Vietnamese needs to grow up in politics. We need to grow up in selections of the leaders of the state. If the incumbent governor is helping the Vietnamese community, then we should keep him. However, if he is racist, increases taxes, and damages your business and economy, then you should recall him. I respectfully urge you to exercise your rights through your thoughts so that we can have a powerful vote. According to the census in California, we have about 300,000 Vietnamese with U.S. citizenship. With 300,000 Vietnamese signatures with Americans who lost revenues during the second state shutdown, the governor of California will easily lose his position. It is nothing difficult. Just a few 100,000 Vietnamese heads down to recall stations. The governor of California will now know the power of the Vietnamese. The governor California state in the future will not dare to underestimate the Vietnamese American in the United States, and especially in the state of California.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. thích